Well, thank you very much for the time. And now I would like to continue our presentation. That title is relevant and coherence. For the first about the relevant, the meaning of relevance is defined in the terms of contextual effect and processing efforts. This is talking about the processing effort with the contextual effect. Here, for example, when we talk about the something, for example, we as a speaker, the first thing we have to know about the context, and also we have to make our audience or the hearers who are hear about our presentation, they must be understand as well what we are talking about. And then in here, speaker not only look after himself or not only understand himself, but he has to respect or he has to explain about what he's talking about to the audience and to them and also to the hearers. So in here no have another assumption or opinion about what is the topic that he is delivered to the audience. And also in relevant, according to Spaber and Wilson at 1986, they said is argue that's the perception of relevance carried by overt, act and ostensive communication has two aspects. The aspect has two aspects. And the next about the principle of relevance. The principle of relevance is the simply of the thesis that every act of ostensive communication communicates a perception of its own optimal relevance, on the assumption that understanding an utterance is a matter of recovering its explicitors or intended explicit content, and then the contextual effect are the error is intended to drive from the explicator. They claim that a computation of coherence relation is necessary for cooperation amounts to claim that their identification is necessary from the recovery of utterance, explicitors, and intended contextual effect. That's about the relevant. And the next about the next is about the example of the relevant. For example, what did Jane say? Jane said. Of course, when we asking this is to the someone, we don't understand because not relevant. So when we hear about the answering from the hearers, it is 3 o'clock. So we can imagine by ourselves if the question is asking about the asking about the time. But if they just say, what did Jane say? Jane said. Of course, we don't understand what he's talking about, what he's asking to us. But when we say it is, when the hearer said, this is 3 o'clock, it is 3 o'clock. So we imagine, we can understand by ourselves if they are still talking about the time. Well, the next is about the coherence. The meaning coherence is the ways a text makes readers and readers through the relevance accessibility of its configuration of concept, idea, and also theory. Its mean is before the readers they write about the text or some book, the first thing he has to know, he or she know, the first is concept. That mean is what the concept he or she wanna put it down or he wanna write down. And also idea, that mean is what is idea, main idea he wanna write down on his text or his book. And then of course the things the important things is well about the theory or let's say like the framework theory. Of course when we write some text or some book, we have to know about the theory of the some expert to support our text or our book. So that's about the coherence. And the next about the assessment of coherence relation. For the first, sequence. The meaning of sequence in a coherence based framework, the interpretation of sequence involves the identification of relation of temporal and causal sequence respectively. So in here about the sequences, they are talking about the the temporal and causal sequence respectively. Well, according to Castan 1993, point out of the sequence is this interpretation can be explained in terms of a fact that ready-made scripted knowledge make the contextual assumption that give rise to the highly accessible. However, she also points out the sequence that is cannot be the whole story, since there is a range of other cases in which sequential, a causal, and cohere cannot be a result of a already scripted knowledge. So the next is that's about the sequence, and then the next about to make it clear enough with what is what I had explained. Now look at to the example. Example A. Example 1. First sentence: a number 16 bus finally arrived. Of course, when we read or we hear about this sentence, we don't understand what it means. We don't understand. But when we see, like when we hear about the answer, when I asked the driver whether he was going to the university, so we can imagine here if there is some sequence, which is the bus with the number 16 come so late or come too late. And then this conversation we can imagine that's happened in bus station. That's for the first example. And the second, for example, we hear some conversation between two peoples. They make a conversation and asking, it is too hot. And then we hear about the answer too hot. It means he would like to say same things. It is too hot, but he just say too hot. So that makes sense. We can imagine that makes sense and really clear. But when they just say it is too hot, we don't understand, and we can't imagine without answer. And when the other people say according to his statement, he say like too hot, or they talking about the situation if today is very hot. So that's about the example of sequencing. And the next is about explanation. However, as Keston said before on his book 1993, recognize it still has been explained why. This causal interpretation is not necessary recovery in non-conjoined utterance like in example A. Custom explanation of the difference between A and B hinges first on the claim the signs we are question asking. Explain seeking creatures. That's for the more information about this custom statement, we can look on his book 1993 at page 38. And our search for optimal relevance is a sequence in which the speaker has presented a fact a fact, and then it's important make the hearers understand, or the speaker has presented a fact involving asking why, and second on the fact that a conjunction is a synthetic unit and hence a unit of relevance. Well, I think that's all about the material that I presentation, and next will be continued by my friends. Thank you very much and have a good day.